Happy Monday, y'all. I'm back from vacation. Well, staycation. Anyway, it is the 14th Monday, and these are some of the headlines on BizarreBus.com. Secretive Pentagon program to replace human hackers with AI. Bizarre Teacher did the video tonight about this. Possible life. Noxious gas found on Venus, discovered with Hawaii telescope. Thank you for doing that video. On the other side of the wildfire business, I told you my kids and I don't always agree politically, and that's fine. But I'm going to give you the other side of this wildfire business. 5 people arrested for setting those fires in various states. And well-preserved 17th century ship found in dark waters of Baltic Sea. All these and more on BizarreBus.com.
BizarreBus.com. Real news, no bullshit.
Secretive Pentagon research program looks to replace human hackers with artificial intelligence. The Joint Operations Center inside Fort Meade in Maryland is a cathedral to cyber warfare, part of a 380,000 square foot, $520 million complex opened in 2018. The office is the nerve center for both the U.S. Cyber Command and the National Security Agency as they do cyber battle. Clusters of civilians and military troops work behind dozens of computers and monitors beneath a bank of small, chick-lit windows dousing the room with light. 3 20-foot tall screens are mounted on a wall below the windows. On most days, 2 of them are spitting out a constant feed from a secretive program known as Project Ike, or Project IKE. The room looks no different than a standard government auditorium, but IKE represents a radical leap forward. If the Joint Operations Center is the physical embodiment of a new era in cyber warfare, the art of using computer codes to attack and defend targets ranging from tanks to email servers, Ike is the brains. It tracks every keystroke made by 200 fighters working on computers below the big screens and churns out predictions about the possibility of success on individual cyber missions. Thought police, anyone? It can automatically run strings of programs and adjust constantly as it absorbs information. Dude. Ike is a far cry from the prior decade of cyber operations, a period of manual combat that involved the most mundane of tools. The hope for cyber warfare is that it won't merely take control of an enemy's planes and ships, but it will disable military operations by commandeering the computers that run the machinery, obliterating the need for bloodshed. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong sentence there, but that's what it said when I got to it. The concept has evolved since the infamous American-Israeli strike against Iran's nuclear program with malware known as Stuxnet, which temporarily paralyzed uranium production starting in 2005. Speaking of that program, it seems like that's been getting hit over the summer with their nuclear facilities have been getting hit by the same type warfare. Just side note there. Done some videos about it. Before Ike, cyber experts would draw up battle plans on massive whiteboards or human-sized paper sheets taped to walls. They would break up into teams to run individual programs on individual computers and deliver to a central desk slips of paper scrawled with handwritten notes marking their progress during a campaign. For an area of combat thought to be futuristic, nearly everything about cyber conflict was decidedly low-tech with no central planning system and little computerized thinking. Ike, which started under a different name in 2012 and was rolled out for use in 2018, provides an opportunity to move far faster, replacing humans with artificial intelligence. Computers will be increasingly relied upon to make decisions about how and when the U.S. wages cyber warfare. This has the potential benefit of radically accelerating attacks and defenses, allowing moves measured in fractions of seconds instead of the comparatively plodding rate of a human hacker. The problem is that systems like Ike, which rely on a form of artificial intelligence called machine learning, are hard to test, making their moves unpredictable. In an arena of combat, in which stray computer code could accidentally shut down the power at a hospital or disrupt air traffic control systems for commercial planes. Even an exceedingly smart computer waging wars carries risks. Like nearly everything about such warfare, information about Ike is classified, as even hints about computer code can render attacks driven by that code ineffective. Minute details are guarded jealousy. But interviews with people with knowledge about the programs show that the military is rushing ahead with technologies designed to reduce human influence on cyber war, driven by an arms race between nations desperate to make combat faster. I see no problem with this at all. This could be a huge problem. Using the reams of data at its disposal, I can look at a potential attack by U.S. forces and determine the odds of success as a specific percentage. So it's making decisions for our military at some point. If those odds are high, commanders may decide to let the system proceed without further human intervention, a process not yet in use, but quite feasible with current technology. Oh, it's in use. You already know it's in use. Get out of here with that. In any event, this guy, his name was Cardin, he said what he saw with Ike could change the world. What he saw was pretty powerful. It categorized risk in a way that I could have a pretty good level of confidence. So that's very interesting. I could read for hours, but I will link it at bizarreabyss.com.
Scientists may have discovered life floating in the clouds of Venus. Astronomers apparently found a gas in the clouds of Venus, and it's called phosphine. On Earth, phosphine is associated with life. Microbes, to be exact. You can make them in an industry of sorts, but of course there are no factories in Venus, so this is natural. A phosphine molecule is made up of phosphorus and 3 hydrogen atoms. But Venus's clouds are made of 75 to 95% sulfuric acid, something that would typically break down living organisms here on Earth. So whatever Venetian microbes these might be, they must be radically different biochemistry than here or evolved with some kind of armor. This has opened some deeper questions for scientists. Maybe life doesn't need Earth-like elements, and maybe they can survive on hellishly hot Venus.
Well, let's take a small break to show you the new Bizarre Abyss face mask. Oh my gosh, y'all, you asked for it, you got it. $12.99. I'm sorry, that's the best we could do, y'all. We really tried to keep it lower than that. I really wanted to keep it $10.99, but I could not get it any lower. Offers full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 6-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, as you of course know, and $1 from every mask sale is donated to nonprofit to feed the children in need. Comes in black, gray, white, and red. So feel free to check that out. Go to bizarreabyss.com and get yours today if you would like to support us. Dude, it's Bizarre Abyss headlines, 100% unfiltered. An Oregon man has been arrested for starting 7 fires, and police recover a molotov cocktail. So let's talk about the other side of these wildfires. I know that everyone in mainstream media is saying that it's climate related. I know I'd get that out sooner or later. But I don't necessarily think so. I think that some people are starting these fires, and probably more than we'd like to admit or have found out about, for sure. And the mainstream media is not reporting on it. So Bizarre Teacher and Bizarre Nurse and myself don't always agree politically, and that's totally fine. We're family. It's what we do. But this is why we're so open to talking to others about their beliefs in situations, and we're used to people not agreeing with us all, and you don't have to. That's totally fine. Oregon man arrested for starting 7 fires Police recover Molotov cocktail. Amid windy and worsening conditions, at least 35 have died from the West Coast fires, which many thousands of firefighters are still battling. And there are still dozens of missing persons who were in the vicinity of the blazes. Meanwhile, the mainstream media is busy issuing headlines like this instead of actually trying to get to the bottom of what is behind the seeming simultaneous explosions of fires. The headline: Oregon officials warn false Antifa rumors waste precious resources for fires. NPR. You know it's bullshit, dude. And now local Portland media is reporting that a 45-year-old man has been arrested for starting at least 7 fires near a major highway. A man arrested Sunday afternoon for allegedly starting a fire along Interstate 205 was arrested again hours after he was released from jail, the first time after he allegedly started 6 more fires, according to a police statement from Portland. So why is he getting out? Dude, y'all need to get a grip over there for sure. So a single individual is responsible for no less than 7 fires, 6 of which he reportedly started after already being arrested and released, but somehow the media is demanding that the public consider it inconceivable and that Antifa could be engaged in a campaign of arson in many of these fires, that it's false and that it's climate related. While some of it may be climate related, I will give Bizarre Teacher that for sure. Some of it isn't. We have a freaking war going on out here, and you all need to figure it out, okay? There is a coming civil war. I don't know if you all know that or not, but it's happening. It's clear. It's clear as day. To me, maybe I don't speak definitely for Bizarre Teacher or Bizarre Nurse on that front. The suspect, identified as Domingo Lopez Jr., reportedly had a Molotov cocktail with him as well upon being arrested the second time. Dude, that's just one other headline. And then there's another one that says 4 people arrested for suspected arson, intentionally setting wildfires in California, Oregon, and Washington. At least 4 other people have been arrested on suspicion of arsons and incidents connected with the massive wildfires now blazing across the western United States. Oh, but I need to wear a tinfoil hat? My ass. It's intentional, some of it. Again, I'm not saying all of it is intentional, but I'm saying it's intentional, some of it. And that shit spreads. And these people need to be held accountable. A number of false reports surfaced this week painting several fires on the anti-fascist activists. Reports that the FBI say turned out to be untrue upon investigation by federal, state, and local authorities despite a flood of reports. It's because they want to keep people calm. Those rumors are believed to have stemmed from a tweet from the Portland, Oregon Police Department warning protesters who have been holding protests in the city every night for the past 3 months. The Portland PD warned demonstrators earlier this week that setting fires could lead to much larger, more destructive blazes. To those attending, quote, to those attending demonstrations tonight, keep in mind that immediate risk of use of fire poses danger to community members since fire danger is very high right now due to high winds. And that just gave him the idea to do it. Thanks a lot, dude. Fire will spread quickly and could affect many lives. You just told him what to do. That's like your secret, this is what you need to do. We're not seeing any indications of a mass politically influenced arson campaign, said the Oregon Department of Forestry to the New York Times, but several state authorities now say that at least 4 of the many fires that have destroyed millions of acres of forest in California, Oregon, and Washington, and this is besides the dude I just talked about in the previous story, are suspicious, and they've arrested 4 people in connection to suspected incidents of arson. If that's not proof, I don't know what else you need to hear. Michael Jared Bacala, a transient living in Oregon woods, was arrested late this week on 2 counts of arson, 15 counts of criminal mischief, and 14 counts of reckless endangerment. Bacale is allegedly responsible for setting one of two major wildfires in Oregon. The fires now have merged, killing 24 people, leaving hundreds homeless, and torching at least 5,700 acres of precious forest land. That is not climate change. Dude, the California Highway Patrol arrested a 37-year-old woman, Anita, whatever the hell her last name is, for intentionally starting several blazes along Highway 101. Police do not yet have a motive for her alleged arson, but they don't believe she's connected to Antifa. Who gives a shit? She probably is. Do you know there are, grown-ass people I'm seeing on random threads on just regular social media. So when somebody else talks about Antifa, they pop up like, I'm Antifa, I'm Antifa. Get the hell out of here. Everybody now wants to be Antifa. Go join the freaking club, dude. Move to Oregon or Washington or California. That's where they need you the most, apparently. And another trooper dude was suspended for posting that someone had set a fire. I could just keep going on and on here. As of Thursday, more than 100 wildfires across 12 western states burned more than 4,300 acres. So, it's not all climate change. I can tell you that. And it's really too bad that mainstream media refuses to report on it. They just want to keep the truth from you. And that's not how I roll. So I want to give you every side of the story. So there's that with that. I will link those stories at Bizarrebus. An eerily well-preserved 17th century ship was found in the dark waters of the Baltic Sea. Divers from Finland have made an unexpected discovery while exploring the depths of the Baltic Sea, finding an incredibly well-preserved shipwreck dating back almost 400 years. Were they just swimming around and happened to run into it? Come on, man. This is great news, but it's like they just made it sound like, oh, they were just exploring around. Probably not. Volunteer divers from the nonprofit Badwana team, I probably hacked that, more often come across wrecked 20th century relics sunk during the sea battles of World War I and II, so uncovering what appears to be a largely undamaged Dutch merchant vessel from the 17th century was a huge surprise. I bet it was. The ship was an example of a Dutch fluid or fluid. I totally probably hacked that too. It was found near the mouth of the Gulf of Finland in an easternmost part of the waters of the Baltic at a depth of 85 meters or roughly 280 feet. The diving team discovered this Dutch time capsule lying on the seabed, almost completely preserved that intact. There's some photos on here that look amazing. It's probably the cold water that kept it like that. Showing only minor damage sustained from subsequent pillaging or trawling with fishing nets. The vessel is otherwise frozen in a kind of 17th century stasis, the team says, thanks to the properties of the water in this part of the sea, where a combination of low levels of salinity, temperature, and light can enable sunken wrecks to survive virtually unchanged for hundreds of years. That's freaking amazing. In warmer waters, wood-boring organisms flourish and can do untold damage to relics such as this. But here, the chemistry of the Baltic and the unknown nature of the fluid's sinking have left us with a remarkable relic for further investigation. Even the holds of the ship are full, the divers say, carrying its stock of provisions and wares from when Dutch cargo vessels largely dominated seaborne trade in this part of the world, thanks in part to the pioneering advancements demonstrated by the fluid itself. There is a video on this page, so you can definitely check that out. These ships, which in their first itinerations emerged in the 16th century, sacrificed everything for their all-important cargo. Unlike the other boats of the time that were designed to switch between serving as cargo ships and war vessels, the three-masted fluid bore a cost-effective and capacious design fully intended to maximize cargo capacity. Because of this, it could carry as much as twice the cargo of rival vessels and advanced rigging systems ensured its deft sailing capabilities could be controlled by small crews, which also made the fleet more a profitable ship to operate. There is more on this, so be sure to check out that video. I'll link it at bizarrebus.com. Thanks for joining me this evening. Keep it bizarre.
Yeah. Make sure you take a deep breath. Think positive. Just saying.
Dude. Penguins given free rein to roam around the aquarium since there's no visitors allowed. That's awesome! Dude, look. He's looking around. He's loving it. I got a new section on the headlines page at the bottom called Bad Seeds. Matt Gaetz of Florida, 1st Congressional District, mocked the whole process by wearing a gas mask when reviewing the funding. You're a super freaking winner, dude. An Alaska airman has been punished for peeing in the office coffee maker. Dude, why? Like, why? Did you take it in the bathroom with you? Did you stand in the kitchen and whip it out? Clearly, this airman is dedicated to getting kicked the F out. He's trying really hard, y'all.